Hi there, it's Sam from pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a very tall, slender triangular box. And this week I have got 3 triangular boxes for you, different shapes, sizes and patterns. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, watch out for all of them. And this is the first one and I love it. It's using, I've stamped my own pattern here with the very vintage Hostess stamp set. So you can get this free with an order of £150 or €200. Yes, €200. And it's lovely. And I'm using this pattern all over. Now, this one that I've made is using the brand new colour Merry Merlot, which is just beautiful. It is a wine burgundy red. It's gorgeous. And I used it with grey granite. No, I didn't. I used it with smoky slate as the colour here. But this time round, I'm using another colour. So let me scooch that out of the way. I'm using lovely lipstick. So I wanted to keep on the deep sort of, you know, the deep red pink kind of tone. So I'm going with that, but this time I'm putting grey granite with it, which is lovely. It's a really nice shade. It's kind of between Sahara Sand and Smoky Slate, and it's just gorgeous. So what I'm going to do, because lovely lipstick is a new colour to me, and I've only been using it a short while, it's still quite juicy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp now, let that dry completely, and then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to build the box and then come back in with it. So it's this big, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous stamp here. Which block am I using for this? I want to say this is an E block. It is an E block. So, and I'm going to make my grid paper really messy now. That's okay, we don't mind. It's just glorious. Look at that. How stunning is that? Tra-la, done. So I'm going to slide that off to one side. I'm going to hang on to this because I'm going to use it again. And I'm going to use some grey granite for stamping on the panel that's here. So I need to clean this up. So I have got my stamping mist and my stamping scrub. So stamping scrub, brilliant piece of kit. I have mine open permanently on my desk. I actually have 3 of them. It's a bit like growing up with underwear, one on, one off and one in the wash. So I have one that I work with, one that I can use and one that's being washed. So you've got 2 sides to it. Oh no! Oh, would you believe what I've just done? That's just fallen over on my lovely lipstick. I'll be making another one. Anyway, so this has got raindrops one side and sunshine the other side, and what you use stamping mist with it. Can't believe I've just done that. Spritz on there, scrub with your scrub your stamp in there. I'm not completely thrown, and then dry it off, but I'm actually going to put it down so I can push a bit harder and put it down. Should have covered that up. And I'm going to stamp on my piece of Whisper White here, which is 3 by 1.5 inches, into the grey granite, but I want to stamp it off first because it's quite dark and I want it paler. So the second shade is the one I'm after. Stamp off and get it pretty much all over there. And then the greeting is, one of the best things in life is you, which I thought was just lovely. And that's this one. So grab another block. This one is a D block, and I'm going to line it up on my grid paper. And come back into the lovely lipstick. And make sure I've got my words the right way up. And get it all nice and straight. Perfect. Okay. So I can now put that away. Can't believe I've done that. Oh. I'll have to find a fix for it or something, won't I? While I'm putting this lot together, I'll be thinking of a fix. So that lot I'm going to put to one side to dry. I'm going to get rid of this because it's going to make my brain ache. And I've got my piece of lovely lipstick cardstock that is 8 1/4 by 11 inches. In metric, that's 21 by 28. Oh, I don't want my trimmer. I want my scoring tool. Okay. So on the long side, score it at 1.5 inches, which is 4 centimetres. Then turn it round, and on the short side, score it at 2.5, 4, 6.5, and 8 inches, which in metric is 6, 10, 16 and 20. And then come along and put a little mark, because we're going to put some nice, actually we're going to part score. I forgot, part score 3.25 inches down to around the 9-inch mark on the vertical. So that's going to be 8 centimetres, and down to 22.5. It's down to about there, and then do a part score again at 7.25, which is 18 centimetres, again down to about the same area. Okay, how can I cover that up? Now I've splodged right across it. I'm not sure. Okay, fold and burnish your score lines. I could tie some ribbon, but I don't think it's going to be quite the same. It's not going to give the same look, is it? Ignore your part scored lines. Just work on the full score lines. I might just include that in the photos and say, do not leave your ink pads open. That could work. Okay, so with this horizontal score line here, we're going to trim this. So put a little mitre at the top, just a hair of a whisper off there. And then come round and trim away that bit and remove your hair from your hand and cut straight up these score lines. And I'm going to wedge in very slightly into the squares. It's just I'm going to keep knocking it and falling it over, aren't I? Okay, there's the last one. So this is going to close round, and this tab here is going to meet that one, which is going to be the back. So therefore, our beautiful stamping needs to come on the front. So, where's my snail? It was here. There it is. I pushed it away. So this is my grey granite piece. This measures 9.25 inches long by 2.25 inches wide, which is not written down. I will get that written down for metric folk. And then this one is 2 by 9. So that is going to be 5 by 22.5. Yes, 5 by 22.5. So the outer one is going to be 5.5 by 23. So that can go on there. This panel, 3 by 1.5 inches, 3.25 by 1 3/4. In metric, I have got that written down. The white one is 7 by 4. It's not, it's 7.5 by 4. And the grey granite is 8 by 4.5. So I'm just going to adjust my notes. And I'm going to pop that, actually, yes, I'm going to put this on now. And then start closing everything up. And you will see you can get an equal border all the way around. There we go. Right, so now to close this box up. So I've got my tear and tape. If you work in 8.5 by 11 cardstock, you could keep yours at 8.5 inches. But it's only North America that does, so the rest of us who work in International A4, ours is 8.25 inches wide. So peel off your tear and tape, and you'll see that there's extra that's sort of stuck over, and you can just bend it back because it's obviously double-sided. bend it back on itself and it will stick to itself. There we go. So that's there. So this I know is the back, so fold in the two sides and the back, and then this one here. Let's get some more tear and tape around there. And then you can pinch the sides, and because we've already pre-creased them, or pre-scored them, it will go in. I would guide it with your fingers because this is lovely, strong, tough cardstock. But that's lovely. So it measures, finished measurements, 1.5 by 2.5 by 9.5. Good size. Okay, so I'm going to use my crocodile because I want to get some holes in here. So I'm going to use my smallest one. And I used Whisper White cardstock on, Whisper White ribbon for my original one, but I think I might come in with a lovely lipstick because, you know, I can. And the in colours have got all sorts of stuff that's matching. Did you know if you purchased all of the in colour stuff, you could buy it for the starter kit price? Did you know that? So you could get all of the paper, the cardstock, the inks, the markers, the binder clips, all the ribbons, the background signer series paper, the whole lot would cost £130, but you would only pay £99 and have everything. Right, and we like the idea of that. So I'm just going to hold this shut with a couple of clips so I can tie my ribbon tightly, and I want quite long tails on it. They're not actually as long as my first ones, but that's okay. They're still quite long. So there we go. Glorious. How on earth am I going to fix that? I could maybe make a design with some white ribbon, couldn't I? I could make a pattern going all the way up. We could do that, couldn't we? And stick it over it. And maybe going around the bottom as well. Somehow. I could incorporate a pattern. You'll have to wait and see in the photos whether I go with that or not. But I might have to because it's beautiful. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Wibbles and all. Learn from my mistakes. Don't leave your ink pads open. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.